You're laughing in here. You got the wrong, oh. All right. That is, I think. Okay. Robin?
I'm getting there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, where we at here? Call the meeting to order. Is there any public comment?
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman?
Bentley, I got you right here. You want to, before the, you want public comment before closed session?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just have one quick little thing to ask everybody.
You're on.
Okay. Name's John Bentley, I'm chairman of the RCD board. And I would just like, we've got a meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock. The first thing on the agenda is to appoint a member on our board. And we, as you know, we have 3 candidates. I think I've got an idea of way to get through this impasse that we've had and problems. And I'd like a couple of you to attend the meeting. It'll be short and sweet for your part. It'll be the first thing.
Tomorrow at 2.
Tomorrow at 2 at BLM office,
Tomorrow at 2.
if you would.
I won't be able to make it, I'm sorry.
I won't either.
Yeah, I've received some emails and I also replied that I'm out of town tomorrow.
Okay.
I may be able to.
Okay.
I unfortunately have a commitment tomorrow afternoon, but if Bob can make it, that'd be great.
I'd appreciate it if one of you could make it, I really would. Okay? Okay,
You get,
that's all I have to say.
you guys have the six members or our meeting tonight at Pizza Factory. I'm gonna attend that.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Okay.
but tomorrow I'm at REA in
Okay.
Portola. So
Okay.
Otherwise I'd go.
Okay. Well, you can
I'll
show
go
up,
to that
appreciate
meeting
it.
I'll
tonight.
give it a good shot.
What meeting tonight?
They have got like an advisory committee of 6 people
Okay.
and it's at 5 o'clock and I'll go.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
uh, if we could, I'll answer to either.
We noticed.
We have on closed session, a conference with real property negotiator. I know Ms. Spencer was concerned that it was a Brown Act violation. However, Government Code 54956.8 allows for you to have a closed session with your negotiator for exchange or lease of real property, so we're covered. However, Mr. Egan has a concern and would like it pulled anyway.
You want to pools.
If you want, Richard's here if you want to.
My concern, and I spoke with Ms. Spencer yesterday about this issue, and then reviewed the minutes from the meeting where the board asked myself, Mr. Hammond, and Peter to be on a committee to try to resolve this part of this Hurlong issue. My concern is just that it wasn't very clear in terms of actually appointing a negotiator. The motion was, I think the intent was clear, but the motion was, I think the word was committee. A couple other things as we look through this, and to council's credit, she sent us all an email about a week ago outlining this, that there are certain things that need to be done in open session before negotiators meet in closed session with the board. One, of course, is the appointment, the specific address of the property, which we've done. The one thing that we, I think, neglected to do was to identify exactly who we're negotiating with, which in this case would be Pizzullo and Smith. So I think there's a couple of ways to address that. One would be to agendize this in open session at a future meeting. Unfortunately, the next regularly scheduled meeting is January 14th. The second way would be to determine that it's an emergency and add it to today's agenda by a 4/5 vote if you think that's appropriate, and then discuss it in closed session. But that's just my concern. The points are duly noted and I think appropriate that we do it properly. So.
And I too was under the impression that I wasn't on that committee anymore, and I saw on the agenda that I'm listed in that.
Right.
And I think that probably threw up some red flags with Mrs. Spencer, I'm sure.
Well, I think initially you were.
I wasn't
Because
initially,
the-
our intentions were good,
No,
but,
but because of the concerns that were raised at the time,
right,
I had the impression that you withdrew.
yeah, I did, I had that same impression. So, So,
So did we, it just wasn't clarified in the
Yeah.
action.
okay.
So you guys want
Well-
to defer this to another meeting or just?
Well, Mr. Chairman, we can't wait till January 14th to have that proceed. So either we amend today's agenda or we have a special meeting sometime later this week or whatever. So I know that the clerk.
Susan's
she can-
nodding her head no.
No.
We can add it to the agenda today when you all determine that there's need for immediate action, which cannot wait. We
Well,
can
I
add it
think
to the
there is.
agenda.
Yeah, I do
You have to
too.
vote on it.
There absolutely is.
We need some, okay, so let's, we'll take off A 22. Off the agenda, and we have a
And that would
motion.
be off the agenda at the request from Mr. Egan.
Yes. So probably need a motion to,
Will we bring that back on?
well, we're bringing that back on, agenda approval, additions, and deletions. Except for closed session, we will remove that from closed session. Closed session number 2, we will remove.
Number,
2.
2.
number 5, isn't it? Conference with real property negotiator.
No?
We have different
What are
agendas.
you looking
Oh,
at?
okay.
Don't even.
Sorry, I always just went with my
No,
notes.
you
Okay.
can't, because that's so.
My mistake.
We have nothing.
A 22.
Yeah.
There we go. Got it.
Okay, that will be removed from closed session, so with that, any other public comment? Violet?
I have a poem if you want to hear it.
Why don't you save that until the regular meeting?
Okay,
There'll be more people here in the news meeting, everybody can cheer and be happy.
whatever.
Okay, we're gonna save that till then, Violet. Anybody else in public? All right, Susan, would you, announce items going to be discussed in closed session?
Okay, the board will meet in closed session for public employee discipline, dismissal, release pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5. For public employee employment pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5, interim county administrative officer, and for claims report.
How about number 1?
No, we don't need anything on that, that's just
If needed.
in case we need it after the agenda had been posted.
Okay, we're going to closed session. Bring the meeting to order. Aaron, please, in the way.
Ready, salute.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we pray this day for your ever-enduring guidance. We ask you focus in wisdom and fortitude, that we may dispense our knowledge and facts intelligently among all humanity of whom we serve. Amen. Okay, announcement of items discussed in closed session.
Okay. Board took a vote on dismissal of CAO Martin Nichols, and it was a 4-1 in favor of dismissal, termination of Mr. Nichols' contract.
You might announce the vote.
Okay. Supervisor Chapman, Supervisor Hanna, Supervisor Lassen, and Chairman Powell voted aye, and Supervisor Alba voted no. On the second item, there was a motion to appoint Richard Egan as the interim CAO with no additional compensation, contingent upon the adoption of an emergency resolution that will be done in public session that will be added to the agenda today under the emergency exception. The vote on this was unanimous, and then there was further direction to staff to prepare the advertisement for the CAO position.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Okay, we will go to agenda approval, additions, and/or deletions. So we have 2 additions. Ready, you want to?
Sure, we have 2 additions under the emergency exception. One is for the formalizing the negotiator for the Herlong property is one. And the second one is to adopt the emergency resolution allowing Mr. Egan to be the interim CAO that addresses the conflicting positions. This resolution allows you to go forward with that.
Okay, where do you want to add those?
You can do them now, and we have a CAO.
What's that?
If you did it now, we could have a CAO.
Then my CAO.
No, we did the Richard resolution.
Yeah,
now we
let's
have
have
to
a CAO.
We did Richard first. So let's go ahead and do
Every day
this.
is a
Well,
big
you
month.
gotta do it.
So, with those changes, Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the agenda.
And that takes a four-fifths vote for emergency action on them two added agenda items. I think we wanna take off. What was it,
The minutes.
G1, is that?
The minutes.
G1 we take off.
Okay, did I have a second?
I just had a comment.
There.
I noticed in the paper last week that Frank Agatha's passing, and I don't believe.
We did adjourn.
I did it. Thank you for checking it. Okay, are we good? We have a motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
Do we have a second?
And a second. We got a second. Any more discussion on the agenda? Madam Clerk, we can call the roll since we need a four-fifths vote.
Okay. Supervisor Chapman?
Aye.
Supervisor Alba?
Aye.
Supervisor Wassett?
Aye.
Supervisor Hammond?
All right,
Supervisor Curtis?
All right,
Thank you.
okay. Where would you like to add the two items? The furlong
I
discussion,
think we take them in first order of business.
take it first order to, okay, after public comment. Okay, public comment, I don't have nobody here. Is anybody out there?
Bye.
Violet first, then Willis. Come up, Violet, we want to hear your poem.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, but I think I got it right here.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you guys would be nice. I was requested to write this poem by the county council.
He was.
Yeah.
You read it?
She asked me if I would write a Christmas poem, and so this is what I came up with. So if you don't like it, there she is. This is Merry Christmas. Let's make this more than Christmas Eve, and more than just good cheer. Let's make it more than greeting those we see throughout the year. Let's make it more than sending cards and writing those afar. And more, let's make it more than holidays and more than a bazaar. Let's make it more than singing songs and giving candy canes. Let's make it more than Santa Claus and sleigh bells in the lanes. Let's make it more than giving gifts and more than lighting trees. Let's make it more than Christmas Day with dinners to appease. Let's not let Christmas pass this year without a thought of yore. Let's make amends where they should be and love our neighbors more. Let's make this Christmas all we can. It just takes you and me. Let's bless our Savior Jesus Christ and how He came to be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you get your phone back? Okay, I do have one.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Never seen you without a hat on before.
You want to put it back on?
Well, now I know who you are.
Willis Dow, member of the Coordination Council. Last night we discussed in pretty deep detail with Ken from DLM the importance of responding to this draft EIS that's going on, and with a due date of January 29th. They're expecting comments, and to my knowledge, Lassen County had not come up or drafted any recommendations or suggestions to that, unless I'm
Is it
mistaken.
on page graph?
On sage grouse.
At the last meeting, I reported back from the BLM Resource Advisory Committee meeting and recommended that we, on our January 14th meeting, we did adopt a letter requesting an extension, but we know based on the input that was given at the Resource Advisory Committee meeting that probably is not going to be given. So, but we have on the January 14th meeting, and we're looking at incorporating all the recommendations that the RAC made to the BLM on the EIS. That, and then also planning staff had identified a number of things that the cattlemen's and others groups had already given them input. So we're going to pull all that together starting on the 14th, and we hope to have something shipped off to BLM well before January 29th.
Okay, so I just wanted to emphasize the importance of
And if you
responding
have,
to that.
if you have any thoughts or input that you think the coordinating council and others, my recommendation is to try to have all that quantified by the 14th of January, so we could try to fold it all into one comprehensive document.
Right.
Did the Coordination Council have comments on that?
We would like to, myself, Mark, and Dawn Hanson are gonna,
You can put them together and have.
we're gonna come together and.
I would recommend the coordinating council submit their own comments, but give us a copy, and we can fold those comments into ours, so then they get a double barrel that way.
And then also I'm gonna bring it up at the RCD meeting tomorrow as well, so hopefully there's a letter coming from RCD as well, but, you know, I think that what happened in the logging industry, you know, with Spotted Owl is kind of a similar thing going on here with our grazing lands and, well, whatever else we wanna do with those lands. you know.
Transmission line.
There we go.
So
Okay.
I just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention and hope to work with you and put a comprehensive letter together that touches on all our points. And
Yeah,
it's,
great.
the timeline is just right around the corner.
It is. But anyway, we're working on it, and we had a really good discussion at the BLM RAC meeting, and I think that set a good tone for what we could do.
Okay, just all the good things for the 29th.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else in the public wish to comment? Seeing none, we'll go to unagendized reports by board members, and then we'll go to the intern. What is the resolution first?
Yeah.
Let's do the resolution first for intern county administrative officer.
Interim first, okay.
So we need the resolution, motion.
I'd move to pass the resolution.
Second.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you pull the board?
Supervisor Chapman?
Aye.
Supervisor Alba?
Aye.
Supervisor Wasik?
Aye.
Supervisor Hammond?
All right,
Supervisor Kyle?
Aye. Okay, we now got Mr. Egan, you can sit up here now.
In the comfortable seats?
Hopefully it went up.
It might be a little warm.
We'll let throw ice on it, we're not gonna cool that seat down. Okay, with that, we will go on to unagendized reports by board members. We'll start off with Mr. Chapman. Okay, Mr. Alba.
The only thing I have is it was brought to my attention last night, and my wife showed it to me on, it was on YouTube, it was it's called, Lassen High Dash Cancer Shades, and it was over here at the high school. It was really cool. And I hope you guys go look at that, of the kids supporting the Colby Laughlin and the Kiefer Crosby. Like, I assume both of them are in high school that have cancer, and these, you know, it was just real neat video. Yeah, that shaved their heads. I mean, it was boys and girls both. I mean, it was very well put together. It was pretty cool. So I'm very proud of those kids. Anyway, just wanted to know that.
Thank you. Sir?
Nothing, I would quickly make a comment though. On the weekend, had the pleasure of, we went to do some motocross training for my son in Marysville. We took the Feather River, Canyon Road through Greenville. And I normally go to Chico and then down. And I'll tell you what, if those of you, if you haven't been down that road for a while, it's such a treat. I mean, the scenery through that and through those tunnels is some of the nicest landscape I've seen anywhere in the world. I mean, it was just, I couldn't believe it. It took me forever to get to Chico because I kept pulling over to we were going to Marysville to take photos, you know, and because I always go the other way. And I was just blown away with the beauty and those tunnels. And even on the way back, we came the same way. We were all excited to drive again. We took some more pictures, you know. It was just, it's just awesome. And it just, you know, it's just such a blessing to live in such a beautiful part of the world.
I get talked, I got something to add to it.
Just mind blowing. I tell you, it was just amazing. If anybody hasn't been down that road in a while, if you go, it's really, really nice. I can't wait to go back in the summer and, monkey around with the kids and do some swimming and fishing or something. It was awesome. Thanks.
Thank you, Larry. Tom?
yeah, I'm just about completed with my tours in the departments in Lassen County, and I'm very, very impressed with the commitment that staff has put out you don't really get it until you go into their departments and see what they do on a day-to-day basis. And I want to thank our staff for what they do. They go on a shoestring budget. There's a lot more to their jobs than I ever dreamed, and I strongly urge every supervisor to go on these tours. I think I'm 3 short, the auditor, county council, and the CAO, which I intend on completing after the holidays, but it's a pretty fruitful experience.
Thank you, Tom. And I had a little experience I want to share with you last week. Meeting the wife. The wife's got a cousin in Camarillo, if you know where that is. It's just north of LA. And we went down there and spent 4 days with them. But in doing so, they took us to the Reagan Library.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how many of you have been to that.
I was there 3 years ago. Amazing.
Unbelievable. I mean, I was blown away. I had no idea. They said, "Do you want to go to the Reagan Library?" Yeah, I guess. Nothing else.
Did you like Air Force One?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole thing is so inspiring. If you haven't been there, go. If you got young kids, teenagers, take them. I've never been, I don't think, any place so inspired as the Reagan Library. And figure, we were there 5 hours. So, I mean, you can, get up, eat breakfast, take your time, go, you can make a day of it. But it was just unbelievable. And like Larry, we went down to Reno over 80 to my daughters in Rockland, spent the night there, and went down to Camarillo. And then we cut across and come up 395. And there you talk about a beautiful country. And the last time I was up this 395 was probably in the 70s. But coming up from about Olanchi and north, you talk about beautiful country. I mean, it's just breathtaking, that country through there. So. Anyhow, when I was at the Reagan Library, excuse me, I bought several books, and one is quotations of Ronald Reagan. And there's one in there I'd like to share with you today. "We're all going to have to pitch in together, but if we refuse, we will go back to the old pattern of business as usual. Then let there be no mistake, business as usual will eventually destroy our prosperity and all the blessings it has given us." I pass it on to the board and then the public. Okay, let's move on to Furlong. Richard, do you want to report on if we brought that out of closed session to open session?
Right, and I understand the board added the agenda item.
Yes.
The issue was brought forward by Ms. Spencer, and I discussed it with her yesterday about the appointment of a negotiator for the Furlong issue. And the main concern that I share with Ms. Spencer is that the motion that was made on 26 to form the committee to negotiate with Pizzulo and Smith lacked, I think, the clarity that it needs in terms of identifying exactly who the negotiator is, who the negotiator can negotiate with. I think we did identify the property adequately, but those are the components that need to be done in public session before we discuss the items in closed session. And so I would recommend that the board take a formal action to appoint a negotiator, identify the property that we're negotiating, or in this case, I think there's multiple properties, 2 properties, and whom we may negotiate with. So what I would suggest is that we identify the one-stop chapel building as one property with the individuals to negotiate with that. On that are Hal Hayes, Steve Pizzulo, and Larry Smith. And then as a separate item, identify a negotiator for the school property. And if Peter's here, maybe he can give us the exact address for that, but the preschool facility, and identify the Fort Sage School District as the parties to negotiate on that, unless Greta has a different.
Okay, comments from the board?
I think that's good. Could I ask Richard one thing?
You bet.
Who should be, how would you list the negotiator? Would it be one person, or would it be a combination of, or would it be the same people for both of them, or?
It could be, or it could be different. I suppose you could appoint a negotiator, and that negotiator could, enlist the help of any other county staff that he or she sees fit
Necessary.
as necessary.
So who do you guys, Richard, I think he would be the choice. Well, that's how I see it, he had a different opinion. He's probably ready to work with him.
One-stop location.
Right.
Okay. Negotiator, Richard Egan, location, the current one-stop location, building 170, parcel 2V2, you can call it all those, the above.
And then, I don't know how Tom feels, but, I know it's been suggested that it might be a conflict of interest, but as being the supervisor for the district,
Right.
his constituents have a big, stake in the game, and I don't see a conflict of interest, and I think, it would make perfectly good sense for the supervisor of that area to be involved in the process. Maybe we could.
We discussed that before, there is the potential of a conflict because Mr. Hammond owns a business down there. And so when you read the conflict of interest, if there's any economic ties, we can discuss it further if you like. That's my advice.
I mean, you could, you could, if you own a house in the district, you could make the same argument that if the area prospers, your own value's gonna go up. I don't know, it just seems like
It
he's
has,
the
but it's
area
unique to him,
supervisor.
he's not the same as all the rest of the public, and that's what the FTPC is very clear about. If it's the same benefit that the rest of the public would have, then it's not a conflict, but the fact that so that's the difference between a home and a business.
We'll let you fill in for
Didn't lead it there, but,
I think we need a motion to appoint Mr. Egan as,
I'd move to appoint Richard Egan as a negotiator.
I'll second.
you have to take any more discussion there? You have it?
Well, I was gonna say, I can see where I was going with this, but at the same time, even though Mr. Hammond may not be on the committee, I'm also gonna rely on him very heavily for his input in negotiations afterwards, because he's the one from that district, he's down there associated with people, whereas I'm not, and so I would look to his input.
Just spend the day in my store, in your plant.
Okay, any more discussion? Richard?
I just would like to let the board know, if you go ahead with this motion, it'll be my intention to enlist the support of Melody Brawley, who's the department head in that facility, and Peter Heimbinger from Public Works to.
I think we would need to give you that authority to make your choices, who you need to work with.
Richard, may I suggest a community member
Okay,
go also?
and if you have some suggestions.
I think Felix would be fine, he probably knows more about that than anybody in the room, actually.
Okay, any more discussion?
Does that cover both of those? That motion?
but
This is just the,
this is just for
For the-
currently the one-stop, building 170, also known as parcel 2V2. We need to identify whom they can negotiate with. That's what the code requires, so is that gonna be Pizzulo and Smith?
Well, they're the owners of the property.
We just have to
You need
have it
that in
announced.
motion.
It needs to be a
That's-
motion.
that's part of the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. So,
Any more discussion on that before we vote? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. We're good there?
Now, do we have another motion for the food table?
Oh, good, okay, that's good. We have a motion then, and appoint Richard as negotiator for the court setting. Motion, we have a second. Motion and second. Any discussion?
Richard, are you gonna bring somebody else on the team to help you out on that one?
Yeah, the same individuals I think will be
And
involved.
I'm saying the people you're negotiating with?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it'd be the Fort Sage School District.
Right. But who would you be negotiating with?
I think you need to specify that, Mr., is it Brian Young, the
Brian Young.
superintendent?
Is the superintendent.
And
Brian
that's
Young.
who he would be authorized to negotiate with, and I think the property that would be in question would be the
Head Start.
preschool, Head Start building that the district has available.
He would be included in the motion as the person to negotiate with.
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Okay, that takes care of her long for now. That is at 10:03. We go to proclamation, D2. Proclamation, a whole bunch of them. Got a motion for that?
I would move, Mr. Chairman, the adoption of the 5 proclamations for the retirees that Mr. Douglas just delivered. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you, Don. We have a motion, we have we have a second, we got a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
I just want to make a comment before you do the presentation. I want to particularly give a shout out to Regina Schapp. We have been working with her to transfer the responsibility for generating these proclamations. We've been doing it over the last 15 years, and so we got it set up so Regina is going to be in a position to generate base draft. We'll still be printing them out and donating those, but I just want the board to be aware, and I just want the record to reflect that we appreciate the effort to clarify Regina. She was very willing to do that.
Good enough. Okay, we have those hands out.
Yeah, they're out there.
All five of them?
Yep. Big stack of them. Get your reading glasses?
Yeah. In agreement with us.
Carol's gonna help you.
What do we got here? Gonna help. What do we got first? Cliff Bannister? Is that right?
He declined, Bob. He's not gonna, he wants us to accept that on his behalf, and he didn't, he wasn't up for a public presentation.
Okay, so, you got something you want to say? Or?
Cliff's one of our dispatchers. He's been with us obviously for 10+ years. He's, like all the dispatchers, he works very hard. He spent the last day and a half actually over at SIFC because of some complications with the 911 system brought on by Verizon and not us. So they have to be adaptable, they have to work hard, they have to be able to do whatever we ask them to do day and night, every single day of the year. And he's one of them. He's a pretty private guy, and he just asked if he could respectfully decline to be here and thank the board for the recognition.
Okay. Next one you have is Kevin Camacho. Kevin here?
See Larry out there. Kevin Camacho? Kevin's not gonna make it today.
You're going to take it. So we'll let Larry, take care of it. Thank you. And what we got next? I'm gonna, I'm gonna hand it to myself. 15 years. I've got off this. We're gonna let Larry do it?
We're gonna have Larry.
Okay.
Okay. This is a certificate of recognition.
You know something I don't know? 15 years of employment.
In appreciation for your 15 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, efforts, and commitment. And Bob, I would just like to say it's been a pleasure to get to know you a bit more. We've known each other quite a while, almost 15 years, and
The last year's been better.
yeah, and I've enjoyed the 3 years, most all the 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And I look forward to another year on the board with you, and I thank you. Now, 15 years is, at this game is tough, and I doubt that I could be up to it. It's a huge sacrifice. People don't realize that to take this job, it's a sacrifice, and I know there's some payment that goes with it, but it's really, when you take the time away from your regular business, as we all have other businesses, it's, I won't say it's a volunteer position, but it's certainly not a position that we take because of the financial rewards. It's a sacrifice, and to do it for 15 years is take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Who do we got next on here? I got to read through all of them? Larry, you want to take over for a minute?
Don't you have a 25-year one?
Yeah, we're getting there. Jennifer Nelson.
Jeffrey.
Jeff.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. It's the glare, Jeffrey. Come up here. I apologize for that. See how the light glares on me? I can't see this. In appreciation for your 25 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, effort, and commitment. Lot of years.
All right.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Larry, you probably have something to say? Yes?
Sure do. Yeah, Jeff's our road superintendent up in District 4, which is our Beaver area. He's been our superintendent for about 8 years or so. Does an excellent job for us up there. A lot of times it's really tough to be on the outlining county edges and away from our shop. Do a great job for us, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish to agree with Larry, Jeff, thank you for everything. Jeff and I, we've grown up together and we've done we had a lot of fun times together, and God bless his mother because she pulled my ear more than once too. And she's out there in the audience with my mother and his wife. But anyway, Barbara, thank you for coming down. It's not only a special day for Jeff, it's also a special day for his mother, Barbara. It's her birthday today. And so, happy birthday, Barbara. And so, anyway, so thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Okay, now we got proclamation Bill. Joyce? There he is. I had to make you guys read these. Come up here, Bill. You may have to by the time I get through these. Bill on your retirement from the Lassen County Community Social Services Department, HSS. Whereas Bill Joyce began his employment on March 16th, 1998 as the Bridges Project Manager. On October 9th, 2006, he worked as the Community Social Services Program Manager until his retirement on December 30th, 2013. Whereas Bill was the Manager of Family Solutions Program, Chair of the Health and Social Services Quality Council, backed up and supported the Director of Community Social Services, and acted as the facilitator of the department staff and leadership meetings. And whereas Bill really listened and provided effective feedback, he was passionate about the work and inspired those around him. He mentored and developed employees in their positions without micromanaging.